Hello everyone, welcome back to Tina Teach Django static file creating and modifying a static file. Okay, this is the first lesson or the first video regarding static file. Now, first off, creating a static folder. Obviously, with a lot of things, like the template and then a template folder, static also needs a static folder. For web applications, let's say there comes a time where you need to put a lot of static things. Let's say images, audios, CSS, a lot of things that you're not going to change, that you just want to put it there, hence static. And you can do so through a static file. First, we create a folder named static. Now, you cannot be flexible with this. The folder has to be static, the same way template has to be template. And you put it in the same folder as the templates folder. Now, we're going to create a CSS file. In opposite to the folder name, with a CSS file, you can name it however you want. I'm just going to go with my first static.css, all right? Moving on, let's edit. Let's modify our first static file. I have the body, I have the background color yellow, and the font family is Verdana. All right. Since, this is just a CSS, if you're familiar with CSS, it's just CSS. There's nothing else. We have the background, we have the font family. We're not going to do anything like HTML, okay? Next up to template.html. Now to our testing file that will be displayed in our browser. We have load static, so we load the CSS file that we've had, and we get, style sheet, static, my first static.css. We're linking the CSS file to the template.html so it can pull all of the code we have over here and apply it to whatever HTML or Django that we have in this case. For X and cakes, just an example in demonstration, I might change it a little bit. I might use the member model, and we have H1, X, and 4. We're going to display all of X, okay? So let's say we use the member model. We're going to have the first name, last name, blah, blah, blah. And we're going to have background color yellow, font family Verdana applied to X. All right, let's move on to settings.py. Now, settings.py, we're not going to change it. We're just going to replace some. Debug, if you have it to true, make it to false. All right, we don't want debug to be true in our testing or production for that matter. Next up, if you turn on the command line and you py manage.py run server and you go to the browser, nothing works, obviously, because what we're missing so far is a third-party library, which is named white noise, and we can install it using pip. If you don't have pip, just install pip. Once pip is installed, you can pip install white noise through the Windows command line, okay? And then we're going back to settings.py, and we're going to add white noise to middleware. As you can see down here, white noise, middleware, white noise, middleware. And for the rest is by default, it's already there, okay? Now, sadly, it's going to take a bit longer to, finish this part of testing. So I'm going to continue in the next video, all right? We already have white noise. We already have, our HTML, our static file. Let's see what we can move on, where we can move on from here, all right? Now first, let's move on to creating a static folder. I'm going to go to members. We're not going to create it in here, but we're going to create it in members next to the template folder, okay? So let's go up here, new folder, make it static. Cannot compromise on the name, okay? Now go into static. We're going to create a new text file, my first static.css, and press yes. Now let's go into this static file with my Visual Studio Code, And let's type in body background color is pink. And then font family is Verdana. Okay. Now we're gonna go to our template, all right, which we currently have nothing. And we're going to load static and link my first static.css file to this template.html, okay? So let's go ahead and have up here load static, okay? And now down to HTML link relationship style sheet href equals to static my first static dot css. All right, make sure to close this one. And then down here we're gonna have for X in available members h1 x. Let's not forget these. We need these brackets. Okay, and then N4. Now let's go to our testing address. I already have my server already running on the previous lesson, okay? So we'll just continue with that. So this is what we have. The background color is pink. We have, first name, last name, phone, join date, blah, blah, all in Verdana. So this is a little bit of what a static file can do for you. And then we're gonna go ahead and close this. Have a new command prompt, and we're going to install pip install white noise. Okay, white noise. So I've already installed it, but if you haven't, it's going to look a little bit different from you, but it's just going to be all good, no problem here. And then let's go ahead and jump into the settings.py file. Let's go to Django, my first project, members. Where is settings for us? My first project, settings, there we go. Scroll down here to middleware, and let's add white noise dot middleware, white noise middleware. Okay. Now that's it. Thank you for being here and watching until the end. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Next topic is going to be collecting static files, okay? Learn today, better tomorrow. I have a coffee link. Buy me a coffee if you're interested. I really appreciate it. And have a wonderful day.